Hey guys, and welcome back to Quality Shot Boxing. I've got with me Maxi Hughes, fresh off the Kid Galahad win, a great win as well, and he's looking pretty good considering he's not too far off when the fight happened. Maxi, how you doing, mate?
Yeah, all good, mate. Yourself?
Yeah, I'm all good. How's the family and everything?
Yeah, very well. My littlest girl has started nursery this week, so yeah, it's different times in the house now. The house is very quiet without the kids running around but yeah, they're all good.
Yeah, I can imagine. I've got a 7-month-old now, so I'll have to start thinking about nursery soon for him. So it's a little
Yeah,
lad. So we'll see. He not quite running around yet, so we'll see
yeah,
how he
yeah.
gets on. But yeah, looking forward to it. Well, first of all, congrats on the win against Kid Galahad as well. I mean, a great victory, and it's a big fight. You were headlining in Nottingham as well. Atmosphere looked really good. First of all, I mean, how are you feeling about the victory? I mean, are you happy with the performance and getting the win, etc.? I'm assuming that's the case.
Yeah, one of them, like you get them days at work where you're thinking, I'm not looking forward to this. I know it's going to be awkward. I know it's gonna, it's not going to be, it's not going to be easy. But it's just like I've just got to get in there and get through it and get it over and done with. With that sort of that's I always know I can win, but it was just like I know what his tactics are, and again he showed his colours and he used them dark art tactics in there. But yeah, overall I'm just happy that I won because you know it doesn't. He's like I suppose he doesn't get enough credit for how good he actually is because he clouds all that with his dirty tactics. So that's always usually the talking points when he fights. Oh, he was doing this, he was doing that. So it doesn't. It goes sort of unmissed how good, how elusive and how tricky he is. How hard he is to pin down. But overall, I'm happy we got the win and we're moving on.
Yeah, he's definitely a slick boxer, isn't he? As you said, like
Mm.
he's very very good at what he does, and yeah, maybe the other stuff around it probably clouds everyone else's judgment a little bit, and they don't maybe appreciate how good a boxer he is. So it's a fantastic win, of course, and
Yeah,
he was not too long ago was world champion and was looking to unify, and then
yeah,
obviously had the shock loss against Kiko Martinez. So for you, it's a fantastic win, and you're on this incredible like winning streak as well. We've won your last, I think, 7 fights.
that's right.
So yeah, so and obviously you had that fight against John O'Carroll, which was the second win, and since then it's been liftoff really for you, which has been fantastic to see. And we caught up, not too long after that, so it was great to see, and it's been a roller coaster really. I mean, how was it headlining in Nottingham, and what was the atmosphere like, and how do you feel with the pressure and the crowd and everything?
I didn't let the pressure get to me. Obviously, we headlined sort of by default. So obviously Lee Wood got injured. It was Lee's hometown. The show was built for Lee Wood, so he could box in front of his home. But by default, we ended up getting moved up because of due to Lee's injury. But yeah, it's I didn't put that pressure on. I didn't even think about I'm headlining. I think I'm keeping it same. I'm not adding no pressure. I just thought I'm still turning up the way I turn up. I'll be getting a lift at a venue, go to my dressing room, I'll put warm up, get in ring and fight, and then I'll go home. Simple as that. The same as I would have done if I was chief support. So the only difference was I come out after Sweet Caroline, and when I come out of ring, everybody's leaving to go home. But the atmosphere was still good. I know quite a lot of tickets came back. Obviously, Lee had sold plenty to his fans who was only bothered about watching him. But there was enough people in there. Obviously, enough people that the show still went ahead. There were plenty of noise for me. I'd done a good amount of tickets. Terry Harper had done a good amount of tickets. We're stablemate, so A lot of Terry's lot sort of hung around and cheered me on because we're both Doncaster fighters. So yeah, it were good, and it's now looking back. I've actually had delivery this morning of the fight posters. The big banners. Like I asked Matchroom after when I'd done some media work. I says, "What do you do with them posters when they're done?" He says, "Why did you want them?" So yeah, I won't mind. Like obviously a headline in it. It's going to be a nice bit of memorabilia. So they've been delivered this morning. Come back from school run, and my wife had opened them and had a look and opened them out, and it's the biggest one is pretty much the size of our living room. So could be used as a very large rug. But she says, "What on earth are you going to do with these?" So we need to need to find somewhere to put them.
I saw actually the your Instagram story with the massive posters. So I recommend anyone that hasn't seen it. It's hilarious actually, and it looks really. To be fair, it looks pretty good as a rug. I don't know how you're going to feel about stepping on your own face, but apart from that,
yeah. Well, we are in the process of moving house. So there's a big double garage on this house, which we are going to convert half of it into a gym. So I said it can be a full wall covering for the new gym.
Nice. That'll be good. That'll be great to walk into and see, I'm sure. But it's great to hear you say about your mentality headlining. Like you're also very grounded, I guess, after finding out that you were going to headline, and you were just like, you know what, nothing's really changing for you from the mental aspect anyway, and you didn't let it get to you. Just said, you know what, get on with it. I know what I need to do and get in there and get the job done, and that's exactly what you did, which is great. Did it go the way that you expected? I mean, did he fight the way you expected, and did you perform the way that you were expecting to as well? Was it tougher or was it easier than you expected?
Yeah, it was everything that we'd prepared for, and it were the only thing I didn't expect was the nipping under my arm. I knew he was going to be standing on my feet, elbow in the face, using his head. I even knew there were one bit in fight. He actually pinched my nose. I even expected that because he did it to Josh, my gym mate. So Josh did tell me, he says at one bit he did pinch my nose. So that wasn't a shock to me when he did grab my nose in the clinch. So yeah, it went just as I expected and what I'd prepared for.
When stuff like that happens, I mean, I know Josh told you, that might happen, but when it happens, is it still a little bit of a shock? Like, oh, hold on, what's happened there? Because it's just so
you just
bizarre.
think,
Like,
you cheeky bastard. Why pinch my nose?
I guess it's just trying to push you off your game, right? To break your concentration. And as you said, it is the dark arts, right? It really is. And it's an interesting one. But yeah, fantastic win. How's the eye we were talking about before? I mean, it's looking pretty good.
Look,
you cut in the 11th round, but
it didn't require stitches. It just got glued. I don't know if it could have been stitches, but obviously because we were top at bill, it were about midnight, I think, that I was in the medical room backstage, and obviously the doctors are probably wanting to get off home, so I think he just pied me off with some glue rather than taking the time and to stitch it, because it, it just smeared a load of glue over it. But it is healing. It's still there, and I'm gonna get a nice scar from it. But it's healing, and luckily, the head clash that caused it came in 11th round, so there wasn't much time left for it to, keep getting hit and opening up more and becoming worse. So it were luckily that it was late on in fight, and it didn't get a chance to really open up and be made worse.
Yeah, for sure. And we were talking about, in our past conversations, and whenever I've put names forward to you, you've always said, yeah, I'm not fighting anyone, in terms of whether it's for a belt or for, a certain amount of money, but you're willing to fight anyone really out there. You're obviously IBO World Lightweight Champion now. Are you looking to fight, for example, I mean, Ryan Garcia doesn't really have a belt, but he's a big name. Are you looking to fight someone like a Ryan Garcia? Are you looking to fight the winner of even, if it comes up, a Haney Kambosos winner? I I mean, what's your ambitions now going forward? Have you even thought about it yet?
Yeah, just want them big names, top 5 names. So yeah, them kind of fights. I would like to add one of the main 4 world titles to my collection, because I do believe that nobody stays undisputed for long because the governing bodies start ordering mandatories, and it's just not possible for a fighter to fight them all in the time frame that the governing bodies give them. So
Yeah.
we could see the winner of that maybe vacate 1, 2 belts, depending how many get ordered as mandatories and stuff. So either, hopefully my team can get me in for, excuse me, one of the vacant belts, or if failing that, just the bigger money fights. Obviously I'm earning more all right money now, but I want more. I want that life-changing money fight. Obviously we're moving house, so it'd be nice to get that mortgage, that bigger mortgage paid off, and just create a better life for me and my family.
It's great to hear you talk as well, because you always, like, it's relatable, because when we spoke before, you were saying, I want those fights where I'm able to pay off my mortgage. Like, that's the goal. Like, the goal is to pay off my mortgage, right? Because
Yeah,
you were saying to me, I want to be in the position where I'm comfortable and have to worry about that. My family as well set, which is great for you. I guess then, as an interesting question, you were talking about belts and money. Like, is there a priority? Like, is it okay? You would say, for example, someone came to you and said, like, say Ryan Garcia, and said, okay, well, here's X amount of money. It's a big payday, but then someone came to you with a vacant belt, it's less money. What fight would you take?
yeah. It would be hard not to go with the money fight, because ultimately, a belt can't pay your mortgage. Whereas some fighters are more about the legacy and wanting the name in the history books, as like you say, winning another world title. But for me, it would be hard to not go where the money is. But it'd be a conversation. I sit down with the team, and they'd say, we advise this, or we advise this, and we'd just sit out and discuss it, and you know what I mean. So yeah, but straight off the bat, like if someone says, I'll go with which fight pays most, and that's the one that my eyes would be steering towards, and I'd be stepping towards.
Yeah, for sure. Is it any of the big names, I guess, in that top 10, top 5, that you think you look at star wise and think, you know what, I can beat you. I know I can beat you, and you're very keen on, let's get in the ring with you.
I back myself against anyone I've shown. Out of the last 7 wins, 6 of them have been championship fights, 4 of which I've been the underdog. So people keep underestimating me, and I keep proving them wrong. So again, whoever I'd get in with next, if it's in the top 10, I would imagine I'll be the underdog again. So I love proving them wrong, and love. A lot of people made money on. A lot of people gambled on me beating Kid Galahad, and I've had lots of messages saying thank you for winning us a few quid. So it's always good to prove people wrong.
Yeah, it's crazy that you, as you say, because you're going into a lot of these fights as the underdog, but given your record and now kind of your winning streak as well, and who you've beaten, I think there's going to come a time where people can't see you as the underdog, and I think, who knows, maybe it will be the next fight that people think, oh, hold on, he's just beaten a former world champion, he's beaten Ryan Walsh before that, Straffon, Paul Heyman Jr. Like, there's the names kind of go on, so
yeah,
it'll be interesting to see whether that does come to stage, or whether you just keep on elevating yourself against those top fighters that actually you always have the underdog status, and maybe it works for you because you're able to just take it on, and, as you say, prove people wrong, which is great to hear. Are you keen on going abroad and fighting at all? Like, a lot of fighters say, I want to go to the US and fight there, or is it you're happy to fight at home and you're not too fussed about going abroad?
yeah. I'd love to fight in US. Yeah, it's something that I'd love to do. But again, depending what options come, if they say we can make this big fight for you, it's more money if you stay here in UK and fight, or you can go to America for less money. I'd say, well, let's stay at home. It's not. I'd love to go and fight in US, but it's not the be all and end all for me. But yeah, it's definitely something on my bucket list that I'd love to tick off.
Yeah, well, that sounds good. And talking of Haney and Kambosos, the rematch, how do you see that one going?
I think another Haney win. I actually picked Kambosos to win the first one, but Haney again, with how he won and how disciplined and controlled he was, and how simple he kept it. I can't see nothing other than another performance like that. So yeah, back in Haney again.
Yeah. I'm hoping that those guys will, including yourself as well, kind of all start mixing and matching. And I guess as you say, it will happen after that fight. No, they're not going to be able to keep all the belts, so they will get fragmented. They will split off, and then we'll see people fighting for it. And I almost feel like the Ryan Garcias and the Tank Davises, they're waiting for that to happen as well, because then they know, okay, well, we can probably fight for a belt if, for example, they were to fight, as an example. So yeah, we'll see how it goes, but it's an interesting one. And what's your thoughts on? I mean, I've got to ask you about the eubank Benn fight that's coming up, and of course, Conor Benn's come out with like an adverse finding in his A sample. His B sample hasn't come back yet, but I think apparently, but I think there's 99.9% of B samples come back exactly the same.
Well, yeah, I tried. A lot of people are confused about the A sample and B sample.
Yeah.
I've tested for both VADA and UCAD.
Yeah.
Your A sample and B sample is the same urine. You have to produce a minimum of 90 mils, and you do that into one pot, and then you yourself, the boxer does it, the athlete does the test, just directed by somebody from the testing agencies, and you just split that urine into pot A and pot B, so it's the same urine. So I don't understand why it would be any different. It's controversial, and it's very controversial, and it's interesting. I've been trying to follow it closely to see whether the fight's going to happen, because again, as a boxing fan, I'm very interested in that fight. It's been a crazy. It's, I suppose, 24 hours now, isn't it? About just over 24 hours. It's been all absolutely crazy. So yeah, I think as fans, we want everybody's cards laid out and the truth to come out, and no lies told, and just everybody to be open and honest, and let's get to the bottom of what's what. And I mean that they're against the clock anyway, aren't they? Because the way the press conference, I've seen the press conference has been pushed back to 4 p.m. today rather than the usual 1 o'clock.
Yeah.
And obviously the weigh-ins tomorrow. So if the guys are going to be fighting, they need to be prepping for that and everything. So yeah, it's mental.
The thing is, it sounds like it is going to go ahead, which is, I don't know whether it's crazy or not, but so I know the British Board of Control came out and said they're not going to sanction it, but from what I've heard and other people saying, so Conor Benn, that is passed all the UCAD tests, but the VADA test, which is a voluntary agency, which obviously you'll know about as well, he failed that. He basically came up with an adverse finding, failed that test in one of the tests anyway. So I guess that substance maybe isn't on the UCAD list or whatever else it might be. But either way, the British Board of Control, they base it off the UCAD results, if I'm not mistaken. So even though they've said no, they're not happy for the fight to go ahead on Saturday, I think that's what, for example, like Matchroom and Eddie Hearn and everyone else, and Wasserman are trying to tell them. And it sounds like if it doesn't go ahead under the British Board of Control, then there might be like a David Hayes Chisora scenario where they go under a different board. But I've heard both promoters say that it's going to happen. Chris Eubank Jr. Doesn't seem fussed about it, which is interesting. He just said he just wants to fight. So I don't know whether he's not worried about it. Apparently they've known for a couple of weeks. But what's your view on whether it, say, just from what we know now, because obviously we're not in it, but what's your view on whether it should take place or not? Like, would you, as a fan, as a boxer as well, like, are you of the opinion that actually, you know what, if both boxers are happy for it to go ahead, then fine, or is it okay? He's come out as adverse finding. They should stall it, and then if he's most likely it's not going to change. Obviously, the finding and the result should he be banned. I mean, I've seen people like Carl Frampton come out and say people should, once they get test positive, they should be banned for life. Like, there's people saying that, other people just saying it should go ahead. I mean, where do you fall on it?
Well, I remember I did my coach. I've got my coach's license as well.
Nice.
So what I remember, I did this in 2015. I think it was 2015. I did this January 2015 on the section regarding doping in sport. The British Boxing Board of Control said any boxer found, fails a test, found with banned substances in the test, it's an instant 4-year ban. No ifs, no buts, don't care what your excuses are, whether it were your fault, somebody else's fault, does not matter. You've been caught, you face a 4-year ban.
Is that for the UCAD results, right? That's for their own testing, is it? Or is it any test?
I can't remember. I can't remember if it was any agency or if it was any test or whether it was any UK licensed boxer fails the test. I don't know, but it just seems like that's gone out window. So yeah, it's who knows? Like it's just it don't look good for boxing at all, does it? Yeah, so I feel what I said to my wife yesterday. I said I feel deflated on the matter, because I really like Conor. But yeah, it just makes you feel a bit deflated. So I don't really know how I feel other than deflated and just like like that.
If you were Eubank Jr. in this scenario, would you be saying like him, "Oh, it's fine, go ahead," because it's a very tiny trace of something that isn't in his eyes that isn't going to affect the fight, or would you say no, like we need to call it off?
It's hard because of the amount of money that's going to be involved. If I put myself in that position, I say, well, if I don't fight, I'm not going to earn that big wedge of cash. Which sounds like it's going to be life changing. So for me, that's probably where my head would be at. To say, I want that money. I've trained, I'm ready, and I want paying.
I guess the issue is if Conor Benn comes out and then knocks Chris Eubank
Yeah,
Jr. out.
That's what's bad. Who's to blame? People are going to be up for high jump, aren't they? So.
But then people are going to say that it's because he's got something in his system, right? And he's been using. That's what whether he has been or not is irrelevant because because of that test, they will come out and say that, especially because Eubank Jr. He's never been knocked out either. So if something like that was to happen, then that I feel like is actually like the worst case scenario for boxing generally is that result happening if it does go ahead, which it looks like it does. So it's a really bizarre one. I don't know how they clamp down on it because I feel like it's been a cloud around boxing for a few years now. So, and it's unfair, like people that are clean and have never failed results like yourself and others.
I'm seeing, what I've seen on Twitter is a lot of even boxers are like, 80-90% of boxers are at it. And I find that offensive, me, because I know loads that, like, I just get offended by it because, it's not something. Up until my last fight, I wouldn't even dare take a supplement, a protein shake, a recovery drink.
You're worried, yeah.
Only until my last fight, I've had a nutritionist on board, and he's recommended these supplements. But learnt about Inform Sport. As long as your supplements have got your Inform Sport logo, they're tested, and you get the test certificate with the product to say that it's been tested for no banned substances, so that it's safe. And these are only protein drinks and like a multivitamin tablet. that's all that I've had extra in this training camp is a recovery drink and my multivitamins and your cod liver oils and stuff. But again, I was paranoid about having them. So up until then, I've never had no supplements.
That's really interesting because you're
Yeah.
saying about the informed sport labels. So that I didn't know that. I didn't know that the supplements that come like they have that. A lot of them have that specific informed sport label, and then it I guess proves or lets you know that it's being tested for banned substances. So actually, that makes it a lot easier for boxers. So it almost means that there's like less of an excuse even, because a lot of people saying that we didn't know that what we were taking, but I assume a lot of boxers are aware of that, like yourself. So if that's the case, then it makes it even more, I guess, easy to avoid it. So it becomes more bizarre, especially because the what was found in his system was to do with female fertility. So it's even weirder. Like it just seems so strange what was in the system as well. So I don't know, but I guess putting that to one side, I mean, how do you see that fight going if it does happen? And I guess completely excluding the result, but in terms of just looking at the two fighters, I mean, how do you see it going?
Yeah, excluding that, I was backing Conor Benn to outwork him. I don't think he'd stop him. That'd be very bold if he did. But yeah, because Chris has shown that he's got a granite chin throughout his career. He's been in with some big middleweights. George Groves. So yeah, I fancied Conor to outwork him over the later rounds. Excuse me, Eubank. Chris Eubank Jr.'s been sometimes to look like he's just cruising a little bit, and maybe that's when Conor would turn, go through gears and outwork him and get ahead on the scorecards.
Yeah, no, it's interesting, isn't it? We'll see. It looks like it's going to go ahead, so we'll see how it goes. And talking of deflated, I mean, how deflated have you been about the Fury AJ situation going on? It looks like it's not going to happen now. But
yeah,
were you following it closely or no?
No, not really, because it's a lot of them big fights. He said, she said, it's his fault, it's their fault. I just think it's nonsense. I was deflated, and I really felt for the girls on the Shields Marshall.
Yes,
We're really looking forward to watching that.
Same, yeah.
It did so well. I'm glad it's rescheduled now. It's
agreed. Yeah,
next week, isn't it? Now, is it?
Yes, yeah. I think it's next week.
Yeah,
it's a it's a couple of really big fights on there as well.
Really felt for all the girls and every fighter on that card.
Yeah.
But yeah, I'm glad that they're getting the chance to all fight and that big fight happen, and I'm very intrigued in that one.
Who do you think wins in the two main fights?
I fancy our girl Savannah. She punches seriously hard. She has got the mental edge in already beating her, and watching both the last couple of fights, definitely fancy Savannah to start walking her down and just being naturally bigger and stronger. Yeah, really looking forward to
that. And what about Michaela Meyer and Baumgardner?
I haven't seen a lot. I haven't seen a lot of either. Obviously, I saw Baumgardner against Terry, and she's shown she can punch.
Yeah.
I don't know if Meyer does punch as hard as her.
No, she's more of a boxer. Yeah.
Right. Yeah. So again, another 50-50 interesting fight. So looking forward to it.
Yeah, for sure. No, looking forward to that as well. Maxi, is there anything that you want to touch upon or shout at anyone before we wrap it up?
Just again, just thank you for everyone who continues to follow and support my journey. Thank you to all my sponsors who make it possible for me to be in this position. So just grateful for all the support.
Yeah, thanks so much, Maxi, for being on as well. I really appreciate it. And yeah, definitely looking forward to catching up and hopefully with some big fight news, whether it's a big name, whether it's one of the big four belts as well to add to your collection, your IBO belt, because you definitely deserve it. I know you work really hard and you always are willing to give us a lot of time as well. So I appreciate it a lot. All the best, and also hope the family continues to be well. And it sounds like they're running around, but it's a bit more quiet. But I'm sure you'll get used to it. And good luck with the house as well.
Yeah, cheers, pal. Thank you.
Thanks. Cheers.